What's going on, workforce? Brian here, and today we're wrapping up our White Mage extravaganza with my overall thoughts on the job. So let's go ahead and do this thing. For the longest time, I have been just in love with White Mage. From 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, it's really been my main healer, despite also having Scholar and even in Heavensward having Astrologian. There was a lot of controversy coming into White Mage from the patch notes and the battle system preview changes. A lot of people were really upset, thinking that White Mage was not going to be any good, and that was completely wrong. Like, White Mage is really, really, really good. Powerful spells, powerful attack, way better MP management than I think it ever has had in its entire existence in this game. So how do I feel about it? And that question is met with more trepidation and more, I guess, uncertainty. I felt fine with White Mage when everybody was panicking, and having played it to 70 and having played at least all the other healers, it feels good, but I think it's not going to be my main healer, and that's a big shift, being that I've spent so much time with White Mage so far. Not that it couldn't, at the end of the day, once you hit 70, there really hasn't, I didn't find, for me, and again, this is just for me personally, this connection with the job. The level 70 ability, okay, that's neat. But then I look at, Astrologian, and I'm like, oh, I really like that ability. I think that really feels like that 70 ability. I mean, I look at Paladin, I even look at Warrior. Like, they have this really coolness that I kind of, this excitement that is bundled with 70. Now, if I'm honest with myself and I'm trying to, factor out any bias in, my experience thus far, is that I've played a lot of this game. At this point, I've got all my tanks, all my healers. Now I'm working on DPS. Is there a sense that some of my feelings could be just the fact of, like, okay, woo, we've been playing for 3 months. Like, okay, let's, am I kind of burned out? And, oh, maybe there's a little bit of that in there, and maybe enough time, and distance from so many healers and tanks and that kind of intense role, will take a toll. With 4.1 literally on Tuesday, from the recording of this video, yeah, maybe, I'll go in and want to really play with the White Mage healer, but I'm actually interested in the changes they made to Scholar. Scholar's 70 ability, for me, was kind of meh at the same time, but when I compare them, I look at Astrologian seems has the coolest, in my opinion, then, Scholar, and then White Mage. So there is, like, not looking at the other healers, though, but, like, just focusing in on White Mage on the positive sides, and really what it is that it's the first and only healer you have access to if you want to play a healer and you don't want to spend additional money, and, because the additional healers come with time. Scholar unlocks at level 30 when you've leveled up your Arcanist to level 30. Astrologian starts at level 30, but you have to beat all of, a Realm Reborn to get to it. So if you want to start this game healing, it's White Mage, and it's amazing. It is so powerful. Like, again, like your cures, your abilities, you have so much, healing over time that it's just ridiculous. You've got your full heal at level, I think it's 50 with Benediction. I get Holy and Benediction kind of confused. And that, that being having a reduced cooldown in Stormblood, it just means that you're going to have access to every 3 minutes. Like, who do you want to top off without costing you any MP or trouble? You can, in the past, we're always kind of sitting on Benediction. It was always your oh no moment, ability. And it still exists as that. But if you look at a typical encounter, you can use Benediction even when it's not an oh no moment, because chances are, like, if you know the fights, if you know the dungeons and the bosses, you're gonna have plenty of time to have access to that, especially in a dungeon between pools. But depends on the pool, depends on the tank. It hits so hard. Like, if you were going to want to really kind of practice that DPS and healing, Scholar in my mind should be that, because you have your pet and it's constantly putting out healing once I think they're below 80%. But you can really put those dots on there, you can heal, put the hots on there, and then you just have a lot of stuff going on. And I can't complain about it. Like, I cannot complain about this job, but at this point in my career with it, I feel like Astrologian takes the cake. And I want to go ahead and put together kind of a 101 series just about the healers now, because we did one back for Heaven's Word. This will be a good time to do another one for all three, and that's going to be a good thing. I think hopefully you guys were going to enjoy that. And then also the same kind of thing, a more focused opinion piece talking about the strengths and weaknesses of each job outside of kind of like, here's what you need to know. But there's really nothing wrong with it. Like, it's it's at this point where I was playing it and I was leveling it up, and I just had a lot more fun with Astrologian, and I was like, man, I'm missing something here. But then with the attacks and the abilities, at the end of the day, I wasn't. And it really kind of, there were a couple times with a couple different tanks who were wearing nothing but strength gear, and they were really making me have to continually mash Cure and pray that Benediction would come off a cooldown because I just had to use it on them. And whenever I wasn't paired with somebody like that who was just rolling straight strength, I was able to, go in for some holies, go in with a size, be able to, pull myself out and do a lot of things like that, to the point where I think if anything was missing from the White Mage itself, it would be some type of gap closer or some kind of escape. Playing Red Mage now also is like, man, I like to jump in and jump out. It would really kind of be cool if you could see kind of White Mages be able to kind of move, about in and out, because Holy is, so, around you, and then obviously you want to run in, and that's the risk versus reward of that spell. It would be cool to be like, pop in, pop back out, pop in Holy, a size, pop out. But that's where I think I could see that the job itself would become far more entertaining. And I'm not going to sit here and say, like, here's what I think, Square Enix needs to do. They'll do what they want, but it is what it is. And I think all of that being said, like everything I've just said here, hopefully, you understand that this is a fantastic job. If you're enjoying it, I'm all the more happy for you. But then I look at the healing gauge with the lilies, and it's like, okay, we were frustrated with that, and it's just kind of lackluster. It ties into, Benson for the shield, which is great, but I still kind of miss Stone Skin. I was kind of a Stone Skin offender. It wasn't the most efficient use of my MP, but I really enjoyed it. And I also miss, I just don't care about those. I'm not mentally conscious of the lilies in themselves. I'm never like, oh, I'm at 2 lilies. I'm going to wait till I get 3 lilies before then I use this ability. It's, no, I'm going to go ahead and use that ability. And maybe that's on me. Maybe that's completely on me. Let me know in the comments below. Like, are you, if you are a Savage, White Mage, healer, is it to where those lilies really affect your every decision? Are you saving that instacast, that global cooldown, off the global cooldown ability, because you're watching that healing gauge for 3 lilies? Let me know. I'd really like to have that conversation, because for me, it's there. I might be like, oh, that ability had a less cooldown. Awesome. But it doesn't affect how and what I choose to do in the game itself. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I don't think I wouldn't even equate it, any of this as negative. I wouldn't say it's extremely positive. It's just more neutral. It's like, good job. But I think I am going to pick something else. So anyway, with that, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope to see you in my next. I hope you have a fantastic week. And until then, I hope you have a great day. Take care. Hey, Chris, your shirt's pretty looking.
Honestly, it doesn't have work to game anywhere on it, but I like to support the channel.
Yeah. Well, you can do that and also have a good looking shirt.
I don't really want that shirt. You think maybe it could be a different shirt? Well, cool. I think I'm going to click on one of the links somewhere around here, and I'm going to go see what we got.
Hello. It's really, really, really good.
You guys have a great day.
Take care.
You probably have a pretty shirt on.